Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. My name is Joe. Today I am going to be continuing my playthrough of the game Siege of Port Arthur. This is from the Historical Game Company and is designed by Steve Kling. And in the first video I did on this game, I did some preliminary discussion of what the game involves, how it works, and did the first 2 turns of the game itself, which can take up to 24 turns. And this one, we're just going to jump right in and start playing again. I won't go overly much into mechanics because we've pretty much seen them all, at least in general. And so we're just going to get right back into gameplay here. So it is the start of turn 3, as you can see here. Blue side up means Japanese turn. We grab another card, and we get Ketshitai. So we can move 8 Japanese units. We can attack with 6 Japanese units. Special, all Japanese units may move 1 additional hex during movement and add +1 to all attacks during combat this turn. So this is kind of the opposite of our previous turn where we were only able to move one hex. So this is going to be helpful for us. So first thing we're going to do here for our movement phase. Now we can move 8 units, which is a good amount. So I'm going to take this guy here, and we're going to go, again, on the road it costs a half. So we're going to go half, 1, even through the town. Now if you enter the town from outside of the road, you have to stop. But since we're passing through on a road, it's all good. So that's one move. And we'll take this guy here. Now he's going to go 1, 2. And that's 2 moves. Now I'm going to take this guy here, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3. The reason I did that is twofold. One, he's now adjacent to the fort, and also he's now behind the fortification for the temple redoubt, which nullifies that +2. That +2 for being in the redoubt, and instead they will just get a +1 for it being an uphill attack. So that actually will make this a 7 instead of an 8, which is nice. So that's now 1, 2, 3, 3, right? I think that's 3. Because that didn't move, those 2 didn't move. I think we're at 3. So I have several more I can move. We have zone of control, too, that I didn't account for here. Okay, so he can't do what I just did. He has to stop here, because as soon as he got here, he entered his zone of control and has to stop. Okay, so that doesn't change the count. It's still 3, 1, 2, 3. But I'm trying to see if I can get somebody onto the redoubt, and I don't think I can on this turn. But what I can do is prepare to be there for next turn. So we're going to take this guy and go 1, 2, 3. And now he'll be ready to move up in here next turn, although I expect the Russians will move this guy back up. And since I'm the Russians, that's probably what I'm going to do. So that's 4. I have 4 left. We're going to take our reserves, and we're going to go half, 1. Now he has to stop there because he's entered his zone of control. We'll move this guy up here, which is 2. And then down here, which is 3. We'll move him up, and that's 2, and that's all he can go. So now that's 7 I've moved. 1, 2, 3 plus 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 1 more unit I can move. I'm going to move my naval artillery 1, 2, which brings him into range of this unit, but it also brings a lot of their units into range of this guy. Because we can fire at this one, we can fire at this one, we can even fire at this one, and we can obviously fire at the fort as well. So that's my 8 moves. Now the Japanese will get to do their defensive fire. And they can do 3. So, the question is what to do. I think what we'll do is we'll have this fort artillery fire at that artillery to see if it can preempt him, because it's 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's in range. He's got a 2, that's a 5. So we need a 4, 5, or a 6. Now they can't eliminate him, but they can disrupt him. And he gets a 2, which unfortunately for him doesn't do the job. This guy can't see him. This guy can't reach him. This guy can't reach him. He can't see him either, but... So now we'll have this guy attack that one. Ranged attack, same thing. Trying to get a 4. A 1. Okay, things are not going well for the Russians in terms of rolling. So let's have this artillery fire at this guy. So again, he's going to need a 4 and gets a 2. So yeah, their luck is terrible. And now we're going to go back to the Japanese, and 6 units can attack. So let's start off. I think I'm going to use one of my naval artillery here, and we'll join up with one of these guys. So that'll be 3 plus 1. Oh, wait a minute. We add a +1 to all attacks too. So this is going to be better than I thought. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus another 1 will be 5. So their defense is an 8, so they need a 4 or higher. And we just saw how the Russians couldn't roll a 4. And they rolled a 6. So that actually eliminates this guy. And then one of these can advance. So we'll have this guy advance in here and take that one, the Temple Redoubt. So we have we have 4 more units that can attack because we used 2. So we're going to use 2 over here as well, these 2. So it's 2 plus 1, plus an additional 1 is 4. And again, their defense is an 8, so we need a 5. And we get a 5. So that disrupts, and he has to retreat. And that also enables them to move up and take the redoubt. That's 4 attacks. I have 2 left. The obvious choice is right here. I'm tempted to use this guy and attack the fort since we have a +1 right now. Because he's going to be a 7, so that would be 3 plus 1 is 4. I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, by doing that, though, might be better to do this one. We're going to do this one. So it'll be this guy and this guy. So that's 3 plus 1 is 4, plus another 1 is 5. And they have an 8. So we need a 4. And we get a 2, so that one didn't work. So that is the end of the Japanese attack phase, or combat phase. And now we will rally our disordered units, of which we have 1. And we'll flip our turn counter. I'll discard this card. We'll draw for the Russians. They get bold counterattack. 5 units can move, 4 can attack. All Russian infantry units add +1 attack against enemy units this turn. Okay. So that's quite good for them. The map got a little crooked there. So what do we want to do here? I think we're going to have to use... We're going to have to move. So we're going to take this redoubt back because we need to. So that's 1. Leaves us with 4 moves we can still make. I'm not sure I really want to move anybody else. I do have the Novik that can actually reach this guy now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's interesting. I have a bad feeling about this guy right here. So yeah, little Star Wars reference there for you guys. It's a little risky, but I'm going to move him here. So that's what we'll do. So we've moved 2. I will move my Cossacks here, up here, just to hold that for now. Actually, no. He's going to move here. And that's it. That's all I'm going to move. I'm going to move 3. Because these are like victory areas, so I'm not moving my men off of here on the Russian side. Okay, so now we go to the Japanese defensive fire. This one's going to attack the cavalry. So that'll be one of our attacks. So he's got a 2. attacking a 5, so he needs a 4. And he gets a 2. All right, so no dice there. This one will attack here. Now that's a 2 attacking a 6, so he needs a 5 and gets a 3. So no dice there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at that. He is going to attack the Novik. So that's a 3. He has a 6 defense, so we need a 4. We get a 2. So it was worth a shot. No dice. We go on to the Russian combat phase now. These two will team up and attack here. So that is a 2 plus 1 plus 1, because that's an infantry unit, is a 3, or 4 rather. 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. He's got a 6 plus 1 for the hill because they're behind the fortification. So it's a 4 attacking a 7, so we need a 4. And he gets a 5. So a 5. 5 plus 4 is 7. Oh, so he's eliminated. We're going to attack here. So that's a 2 attacking a 6 with the 1 for the hill is a 7. So he needs a 6. And he gets a 4, so that's no good. We'll have this guy attack this guy. So that's a 2 attacking a 6. No modifier, needs a 5. Gets a 6. So guess what? He's also eliminated. All right, so that was a good turn for the Russians, and I didn't even need that +1 for the infantry in most of those attacks. So now we go to turn 4. We go to turn 4, and we start over with the card phase. So we pull our card. Reinforcements. Move 11 Japanese units. Attack 5 Japanese units. Special. All Japanese units marked star enter play. Oh, shoot. I started those guys in the game already. I've got a bunch of them out here. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 here. There's 1 there. There's 1 there. I don't think they've actually done anything. So I guess it's not that big a deal, but I screwed that up. And I knew that rule. I just didn't notice the star on there. The Russians have the Novik that has the star on it. I think we're just going to carry on. It's kind of too late. I screwed it up. The Japanese are losing anyway, so I guess it didn't help that much. Yeah, so I can move 11 units and attack with 5. He's going to move up to attack here. He'll stay. So that's 1, and I can move 10 more. So let's move him. 1. Which lines him up to support here and also attack the fort. He can also be attacked by the fort, of course. That's 2. Well, this guy crossed the river for number 3. This guy will move up 1. That's 4. How about cavalry? 1, 2, 3. He has to stop because he's now in his zone of control. That's 5. 1, 2, 3. Half 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. That's 8. I have 3 more I can move. Let's move these guys down the road too. That's 1, 2, 3. We'll send this guy this way. 1, 2, 3. That's 10. We'll send the artillery somewhere where I can do some good. Half 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's my 11. Now I can attack with 5. So we will have these two team up to attack this fort. So that's going to be a 7. It's going to be a 3 attack. We need 5. And we got a 5. So that will disrupt them. Forgot to flip this guy. Okay. Now we'll attack here with 2, which will give us 3 total. Actually, 4 total. Sorry. 4 total. So that's 2 plus 1 is 3, attacking 8. So we again need a 6. We get a 4. So nothing there. Now we'll have this guy attack the ship again. 3 attacking a 6. So he needs a 4 and gets a 4. All right. So that's it. That's 5. So that's the end of the Japanese turn. We flip this to the Russian side. Russians get to go. Draw a card. What the Tsar expects. Move 5 units, attack with 4 units. Special 2 Russian infantry units may be returned to play. And any hex next to an undisordered friendly unit not in enemy zone of control. So this guy gets to come back. So we'll take him and we'll put him next to undisrupted. We'll put him here. Because I think if I put him there, even though this isn't, that one is. So I'm going to try to stick to the letter of the rule there since I already screwed the rules up. Probably more than once, but I'm trying. All right, so that's their special move. Now they can move 5. So let's move him up. And let's move him up. That's 2. Move him. 3. And I think I'm going to retreat this guy. Except that he really, well, I guess he can. He can move here for 1 and then here for 2 because he's leaving zone of control and not going into someone else's zone of control. So you're allowed to do that. So that would be 2, and then he can move back here and be behind the fortification line and be 3. Okay, so we're kind of conceding this area here. Maybe going a little hedgehog style right here to kind of group it together. So that's 5. That's 4 moves, I think, but I'm not going to do any more. Now 4 attacks. All right, so we got 2 that can't do anything. We have some artillery that can, though. So let's have this guy and this guy team up to attack this reserve unit here. So that's 2 plus 1 is 3. That's only a 5, so we really only need a 3. We get a 6, so he's gone. So that's a good attack. That's 2. They have 2 left. We'll take this one and attack there. So we have 2 plus 1 again is 3. He's a 6, so we need a 4 and get a 1. So win some, lose some. Oh, did I do Japanese fire? I think I forgot the defensive fire, didn't I? I think I did. Well, let's redo this. So he was here. So I didn't do Japanese fire, so I need to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to attack this cavalry unit with these 2. And that'll be 2 of my 3. So that's a 2 plus 1 is 3. Attacking a 5, so we need only a 3. And we get a 3. So he gets flipped and has to retreat 2. So he was here. He'll go here. Okay, so that's these 2 have acted now. Now we'll have these 2 attack this guy, and he's behind a fortification line, so he gets a +1. So that's 3 attacking 7. So again, we need a 5, and we get a 1. Oops, and that was an illegal attack anyway because I had 2, and I'm only allowed to have 1 there, but I still rolled a 1, so it doesn't matter. So that's the end of that. Now the Russians attack. Now we'll do what we did before. These 2 will attack there. Should I re-roll it? I feel like I should. So again, it's 2 plus 1 is 3. They only need to beat a 5. That's pretty easy to do. Oh. Well, that's a tie, and the tie goes to the defender, so no luck there. So now we have 2 more to attack with. And we will have, we'll have this guy and this guy do a ranged attack on the artillery. So that's 3 attack and 5, and they get a 2. So that was a big old nothing burger as well. And we flip back over to turn number 5 now. Draw a card for Japan. Nogi's son is killed. Move 4 Japanese units, attack 5 Japanese units. 2 Japanese units of the player's choice may be returned to play. Okay, so we bring 2 reinforcements back in. Or 2 units back in that are dead. So we'll take the first. And then, well, there's 2 9th Division there, I guess. But not an enemy zone of control and undisrupted. So let's put 1 here. And we'll put the other one here. All right. Now we can move 4 and attack with 5. So we're going to move these guys down the road. So 1, 2, 3, just to get them out of the way. And then 1, 2, because now I have 2 guns that can attack this guy. So that's 2, and I have 2 left. We'll take this guy and go 1, 2 and a half. And stop there, and then this guy will go 1, 2, and stop there. Since we can't stack, there's no stacking, so 1 unit per hex. All right, so that's our movement. Now the Russians get to fire at us. So, oh, we get to rally too. I always forget the rally phase. So they got their artillery and their cavalry back. Well, since the artillery's right here and we have this guy, so let's go with these 2 together. That's a 3 attacking a 6, so we need a 4. We get a 4. So he's disrupted and has to retreat. So that's 2. We get 1 more. Let's have this guy attack right here. We'll take on that cavalry since he's only a 5. So 2 attack and a 5. We need a 4. Get a 6, so he knocks him out. Okay, now we go to the Japanese attack phase. We get 5 attacks. Well, they kind of blew up my plan for over here. Well, let's have our 2 artillery guns here try to take the Novik out that I didn't flip over. So that's going to be 4 attacking 6. So we only need a 3. Actually, is that worthwhile? I don't know that that's worthwhile, so I'm not going to do it. What we are going to do is we're going to take this one with this one. So it's going to be 4 attacking here against an 8. I'm getting a 2, which is nothing. Now I'll have this one attack with this one, and it'll be the same thing, 4 attacking an 8. And we get a 1, which is even worse. So that is 4 attacks, and I have 1 left. Guess we'll take this artillery and attack this guy right here since he's in open. So that's a 2 attacking a 6. We need a 5. We get a 4, so nothing. That was a waste of time too. And then we'll flip this guy over. And we'll go to the Russian turn, and they get Command Dissension. 3 moves, 2 attacks. No Russian infantry units and redoubts may move out of them, and if the Novik unit is in play, it cannot engage in combat. So we can't use the Novik, and we can't move any units in a redoubt. So these two and these two cannot move. Not that I probably would have anyway, but I might have. So 3 Russian units can move. So let's move I'm going to move the cavalry back in here. That's 1, 2, 3. Because I think he can cross that because it's his line, but he would have to stop. So We kind of left these guys out to dry, but, we have to give ground. There's a lot of Japanese out here. All right, so next step is to have the Japanese do their defensive fire. So these two will team up on here. So we have 3 attacking an 8 and getting a 1, and then we'll just do this on here. So it's a 2 attacking, and actually that doesn't matter. Can't do it really. So we'll have this naval artillery attack it, I guess, because he rolls a 6, he can at least disrupt them. Oh, look at that. Roll the 6 and he has to retreat. All right, so we should be able to take the Division Hill Redoubt now. And we can start moving up on the fortification line from the Japanese side. So now it's Russian combat time. They can only use 2 attacks here. So it's really, we're going to use these 2, I think, to try and crack somebody over here. We'll take this one on, I guess. So that is a 3 attacking a 5. And 3 plus 3 is 6. So he gets disorganized and retreats, and he'll go 1, 2. All right. That's it. So we're going to flip this guy over because he's no longer disrupted. We'll flip this to turn 6, and we will continue. So we'll draw a card, and we get, this is a relatively simple card, no special here. 6 move, 4 attack, no special. Inadequate intelligence. That sounds about right for me, doesn't it? I have inadequate intelligence to remember not to place the reinforcements with my initial setup. Okay. All right, so first thing, we draw our card. Now we do our movement. We can move 6. So let's start moving people up. So we're going to move this guy here. We're going to move this guy here. That's 2. Now, the road goes through this, so I'm assuming that he can move there for at most 1. And then end up over here. So that's 3. Then he can go 1, 2. So that's 4. I can move 2 more. So let's move this guy up. So that's 1, 2.5 to get there. And that's 1, 2. We'll stop here. No. We'll go here. Actually, he entered his zone of control, and so did he. So he might not have to stop there unless we went this way. So we're going to say he went this way to stay out of his zone of control. All right, so now we have 4 units that can attack. Well, let's try to take this redoubt. So these 2 will combine to attack here. So we got a 3 attacking an 8. And that is a 5, so that would be a tie, so that's not enough. We needed a 6. So if I had used this one instead, like stupid Joe, come on, man. Well, let's see if we could take this fort out, though, okay? Because he's a 7. We'll use this guy, and we'll use this artillery. So that's going to be a 4 attacking a 7. Watch me roll like a 1. Well, not a 1, but a 3 is still not good enough. So that's all 4 of my attacks, and they were wasted. So let's flip this over. Turn 6. Redoubt defense. We can move 5, attack with 4. All Russian units and redoubt hexes add +1 to all attacks during combat this turn. So they still have a few guys in redoubts. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. plus these guys, I guess. I don't know if those are considered. I guess they're not because they're not fortified. They're just hills. So it's this one, these two. All right, so we drew our card. We can move 5. So I'm not even sure if we want to move anybody. Let's move this guy back. So he'll move into this redoubt. That's 1. 2. I think that's it. We'll stop there. Actually, let's move him over 1. He can still reach this guy. Because I'm thinking I might want to slide him over here. Maybe. All right, so that's 3. That's all we're going to do. We'll do defensive fire now. Let's see if we can take one of these forts out. I also think by moving the ship here, he can't see him now. Maybe he can. I don't know. I'm going to play it that he can't. Do that. We'll have this artillery and this one attack here. So that's going to be 4 attacking 8. So we need a 5. We get a 1. All right. Now we'll have these 2 attack them because it's ranged, so we can stew it. It's the same thing. And we get another 1. And I couldn't do that again because I only had 3 and I used 4. So come on, Joe. Stop it. All right, so now it's Russian attack. We can attack with 4. So let's have the redoubts attack because they can. So we're going to do something. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll have this guy and this guy will attack here. So that's going to be 2. Well, 3 plus 1 is 4, attacking a 6. And getting a 1. Boy, I'm great at rolling 1s, man. Woo! So that's half our attack. So we have 2 left. I guess we'll take these 2 and attack that one because they can both see it. I'm not sure he can see this guy. So again, it's going to be 3 plus 1. So that's 4 attacking a 6. And so that's 8. So that's going to eliminate him. So that one worked. The first one did not. And that's going to be the end of turn 6. You know what? I think I'm just going to review. We'll just finish this up with a brief review of the game. Because I know if I continue to make more videos that people, like the return on the investment declines each time. And it may rub some people the wrong way that I'm not going to finish the game on video. I will finish this game though, because honestly, if I'm playing it just myself and not talking, it'll go much faster. So I just want to give you my thoughts on the game in general, okay? So I think this is a pretty clever design, and I'm probably going to pick up one of the other ones. I saw the Siege of Delhi is, I think, new. That just came out, maybe. Same system. There's also the Siege of Khartoum, which I think I'd find interesting. And there's one, I hope I pronounce it right, Siege of Queretaro. It's Mexican, I believe. As well. And then there's another one coming out, and I'm drawing a blank right now on what it is, but that would be the, I guess, 5th of them. So yeah, it's a good system. It's relatively easy. I saw someone had rated it a 1 on BGG. I think a 1 is too generous. I think it's probably a 2, but it's definitely light side of 2. Okay, so it's not light. This isn't Risk. This is, there's some rules in here. Relatively simple rules, and if you're any kind of, veteran war gamer, you will pick this up no problem and be playing it in 5 minutes after reading the 4-page rule book. Because like I said, the rules are short. Here's the rules, right? So 1 page, you open it up. I mean, it's relatively thick text, and then on the back you have your terrain effects chart, some abbreviations, and the credit for Stephen Kling. I almost said Stephen King. Stephen Kling, and printing by Blue Panther. All the stuff I've played from Blue Panther, I actually think their components are really nice. And that's good because they are an American company, so I'm always happy to support the local businesses. And yeah, the components are nice. I mean, the counters. If you've played any Blue Panther games, Blue Panther produced games, the counters are nice. I mean, they've got little nibs on the side, as you can see, but they're pretty nice quality. They're relatively thick. They're relatively firm. You can't bend them really all that easily. Um, and they're nice. And this canvas map, I really dig the canvas map, I got to admit. Like, I was looking at White Dog Game stuff, and I was like, do I want the canvas map? I don't know. But you know what? I kind of do want the canvas map now. Obviously, it costs a little more, but it's sturdier than paper, I feel like. And it lays flat, and it's going to, I guess I'll roll it up, and it'll probably hold its shape pretty well. Lay it flat and let it flatten itself out for a little bit before I play. The game is really quick to set up. There's, I think, how many counters are in this game? Not that many. I thought it said somewhere, but I don't remember. It might say on the website, but I think there's like 40 counters, 42 counters, or something like that. 20 cards, and your canvas map and your rule book, and that's it. I mean, there's not a whole lot of components to this, that you have to worry about, finding a specific counter and a mass of counters. There's none of that because the counters are all, there aren't that many of them. They'll be pretty easy to keep together. As far as gameplay goes, you've seen the game. You've seen me playing the game. You can see that it's relatively straightforward. There's 5 steps to a turn. You got your card phase, your movement phase, your defensive fire phase, your combat phase, and your rally phase. And the rally phase is the one I keep forgetting to do, but there is the rally phase. And see, and everybody rallies. If they're disorganized at the end of the turn of the phasing player, so if it's the Japan player's turn and he's got these 2 guys, he can flip them at the end of his turn. Basically, the penalty for getting disorganized is you have to retreat, and you flipped over and you can't do anything but defend. So, and if they're flipped over and they get attacked again and they get the 1 above their defense value, they eliminate. So basically, if you're already disorganized and you take a disorganized result, you get eliminated. Combat's dead simple. It's basic math, even though I screw it up occasionally. Basic math, really straightforward. 1 die. So like I said, the system is relatively simple, but robust enough that you have to think about what you're doing, and it's not, there's no stacking. You can't make monster stacks. You're limited to 2 units in an attack, and the second unit adds 1, no matter what its firepower is. So if these 2 guys attack together, even though they're 3 and 3, it's going to be a 4. Really straightforward. So look, I'm sometimes easy to please, I'll admit that, but I like this game. And like I said, I'm probably going to pick up some of the other ones, because the other thing that Steve Kling does is his games are all on things that aren't overly, saturated in the market. Like, how many Port Arthur games are there? Probably not that many. I'm sure there's more than just this one, but there's probably not a ton of them. Khartoum, Delhi, these are areas that aren't, overly done. They're not overdone. It's not like the Bulge or Waterloo or Stalingrad or, Midway, where there's dozens and dozens of games on the subject. So that's kind of refreshing. He also does some kind of, like revolutionary 17th, 18th century stuff. I haven't played that series yet, but there's like Battle of Pensacola, I know, is one, and there's a bunch of other ones like that. So, battles in and around the American Civil War, American Revolution, sorry, the American Revolution, the French and Indian War, and even before that, the like Austrian Succession and that kind of era, the early to mid 1700s, early 1800s maybe. This one is obviously the early 1900s, but this is a different system. And I think Khartoum is 19th century, Delhi is mid 19th century, Queretaro I think is mid 19th century. So there's a lot of 19th century with the siege stuff, and then the earlier stuff is mostly 18th century. So yeah, I will probably buy more and play more. I've got such a backlog that I'm trying to get out of, which is kind of why I'm not spending a lot of times. Like I could have spent weeks playing Stuka Leader because I enjoy that game, but I don't have the time. I will come back to it when I have time, but I need to dig myself out from this hole. I just received the British Way today from GMT, so that's probably the next game I will take on. I have a bunch of platoon level tactical stuff that I'm going to dig into as well pretty soon. I want to do like a comparison of various platoon level tactical games. So that will include Platoon Commander from Flying Pig / Tiny Battle. It will include Nations at War from Lock and Load. It will include the War Storm series. It will include Panzer Grenadier from Avalanche. So that's 4. There's probably more. I don't know if I have any others, but those are the ones I'll probably do. I'm not sure if that's probably going to end up being a series where I'll do something from all of those different series and kind of tie them together, and then maybe at the end do like a recap and say, oh, I like this one more than this one, maybe rank them, or I'm probably going to like all of them, to be honest. So it'll be kind of, pick your poison, I guess, is how it'll end up coming out. Like I said, I'm a fairly easy grade here. But for now, that's going to do it. Thank you for watching. I will probably try to do something else with this game and definitely with this system at some point in the not too distant future. I'm going to play this game out and finish it, but I'll do that off camera because I think people start tuning out. We're coming up on, 50-ish minutes right now, 45, 50 minutes. So that's way long. In general, I've gone longer and I don't like to. I like to keep it relatively short. This isn't a motion picture here. This is just a war game video. So yeah. All right, I've babbled long enough. I will let you guys go. Anybody still listening, kudos to you. Thank you very much for putting up with me for this long. No, but seriously, thank you as always for watching. Please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much for your support. It is much appreciated. Even sharing and liking helps support my channel. So please, if you would, click the little thumbs up, even if you don't want to subscribe. That would be helpful as well. But that's going to do it. So my name's Joe. This has been Hexed Encountered. And until next time, as I always say, happy gaming.